Need to improve your club on Ultimate Team? Check out IGDM for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Get an extra 5% discount with code NA. What's good, y'all? With this video, I'm going to show you guys the updated post-patch 4231. I've gotten a lot of requests to update the 4231. People were saying that they were struggling with their 4231 after this patch, or the most recent patch. And quite frankly, gameplay did unexpectedly change with the last patch. Things got a lot more harder than it feels like they should have. People have been struggling with attacking, so if you've been struggling with attacking, I completely understand, because you're not the only one. Me personally, last weekend league was a really tough one. I didn't even go 20-0, honestly. I think I went about 18-2, which I haven't done in like a couple months, if I recall correctly, so things were tough for me as well. And one of my biggest requests was to update the 4231 for the most recent patch, and I've gone ahead and done so. And as you can see right now, I was able to use this updated 4231 that I just made. I grinded up to mid division 1. I'm almost in elite division. I was about to finish out and just grind out tonight and go to elite division, but I want to drop this video first. I'll probably go to elite division tomorrow. Just wanted to finish this video first, but yeah, so far I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm undefeated on my run to elite division. I was also able to play my playoff games, so it's safe for me to say that I personally vouch for this 4231 that I'm about to explain. This 4231 is going to be a little bit more different than what you're used to. There's going to be a lot of things that previous 4231s that I've released do not cover, and we'll go into that right now. And going straight into our team, as you can see, I've spiced things up a little bit. I got this Zazie as a Chelsea fan. It's not meta. I know obviously I have VVD in my club, but I just really want to give a non-meta card a try. And as a Chelsea fan, you know, I had to. And I was doing this Evo as well. On my run to Elite Division, which surprisingly this thing held its weight. I forgot to even put a chem style on them, but I don't really care, honestly. But yeah, going straight to custom tactics, I have this set to my defensive. I had someone ask me previously whether it matters where you put it here, your formations. And if anyone else has that question, I'll let you guys know right now. It absolutely does not. I do recommend that you organize it well so that you know which formation is which formation is like intended for defensive, attacking, vice versa. However, this is just for the sake of organization, so you can put a formation right here as ultra defensive and it'll still be like ultra attacking. Play ultra attacking just based on how you want to do it. It doesn't really matter, it's just organization's purposes. But yeah, I have it set to defensive 4231. Defensive style balance, 48 width, 60 depth. I know despite the cutback nerf, I was advising people to do more narrow defenses as soon as the patch released. However, this most recent patch, there's been an influx of players using attacking fullbacks. This is including things like players using the D-pad attacking fullback settings, as well as just, you know, having one fullback on join the attack. So we want to counter that with having 48 width. And this is going to be really important to keep in mind, because the con to this is that there's going to be more spaces open through the middle of the pitch for through balls, unfortunately. However, we had to get a compromise and we had to worry about, you know, the fullbacks attacking, because people were just spamming like long balls, because especially with the fact that a lot of people have players of long ball pass. So players like Yunus Musa or Bruno Fernandes, all these are players that have long ball pass plus, so they're just going to be spamming long balls, and if they have an attacking fullback, this is just going to be so annoying to deal with. So having 48 width is going to significantly increase the likelihood that a fullback of your team is going to be able to intercept those long balls. So that's going to be crucial. 60 depth, there's not really any particular change in terms of this recent nerf for the reason why we're going to use 60 depth. The nerf did not, or sorry, I'm not going to call it a nerf, sorry, I'm going to say the most recent patch has not addressed anything within depth, so we're just going to stay on 60 depth. Build up play, chance creation, balance, and direct passing. We're not going to change this up. I have seen people change this up right here. Again, I'm firm on balance and direct passing. I've tried other things lately. Direct passing still hasn't failed me. 38 width, and this is going to be a bit confusing because I do know that we're going to go straight into explaining this formation later. But 38 width, that can be a bit confusing because this formation is going to be a more wide attacking formation. But you'll see as I go through the instructions of the players, you'll understand why we have 38 width, but this formation is still going to excel at attacking through the width. And you're going to have 6 players in the box. And again, I don't want to spoil it just yet, so I'll explain why we have 6 players going into the box when I go into the instructions. And then 2 corners, 2 free kicks. If you're going to use 2 corners, please keep in mind you're probably going to have to play the ball short. You're not going to have many options inside the box, which is good because I want to prevent counterattacks from occurring. But with 2 corners, I often just pass the ball short and I build into the box. Or I can send the ball far post if I can get someone with a good cross in there. And before I continue and show you guys the instructions, I just want to real quick show you guys I'm so close to 10k. I've been creating ultimate meta formations all year, and I also have this really interesting views to subscriber rate, which is honestly pretty funny for a new channel. But if you guys are willing to stay up to date with new meta tactics as time goes on, as these patches release, go ahead and drop a subscribe. As well as if you're looking for a Discord community with things like squad building information, transfer market things, anything FIFA related, I do have a Discord server that I've been building lately. So yeah, if you're looking for one of those, go ahead and check out the link in the bio. And going straight into the instructions, we're going to start straight with our striker. Stay central, get behind, stay forward. This is going to be unchanged from our previous iterations of the striker, of the 4-2-3-1 formations that I've dropped recently. Primarily because the intention of this guy right here, this girl, this woman, the intentions have remained. It's still going to be a player that causes pressure for your other team's defensive line, seeing as every single team nowadays plays at least 60 depth. That's a high line by definition. So you're going to want a player that can force those through balls in behind whenever the chance presents itself, especially on the counterattack, especially if you can win the ball up the pitch, which having a cam is going to allow for. So having this person on stay central, getting behind, stay forward is not going to force the defensive line to push back to give your team more space, which is going to be, you're not going to notice it with your eye, but it's going to significantly improve your attacking AI for the other players. However, this is also going to be an option, for through ball opportunities, as self-explanatory that is. And then your cam, I can barely even talk. Stay forward, and then everything else on default. Primarily because, like the basic concept of the 4-2-3-1 is that cam player, that number 10, is going to operate basically as an extra attacking player. They're going to be like a luxury player. You want to trust this player right here to use its AI that is, specific to the player and to just cook on its own, if that makes sense. Having it on stay forward is going to force it to be like, okay, I'm just going to focus solely on attacking, making runs into interesting spots, and nothing else. I'm not going to defend. I'm not going to worry about defending. I'm not going to worry about none of that. And with stay forward, it's going to just consistently focus on just running to spaces in the attack where it's open for him. And, for a player right here, you're going to want a player that's really good at everything. You can sacrifice a little bit of pace because you're not going to see this player in many speed situations or speed relevant situations. However, high dribbling, high shooting, and absolutely high passing is going to be a must. Bonus points go if it has a playstyle plus thing with things like, incisive pass or technical plus or even finesse plus, things like that. Those are going to be really essential in this position right here. And then your two wide cams, this is going to be a little bit more confusing, but I'll explain as I go. You're going to have one on completely default, and then you're going to have another one on get into the box for cross. You might be wondering, which one do you put on get into the box for cross? You're going to look at your fullbacks, and then you're going to have one fullback on stay back while attacking, overlap, and then the other fullback join the attack, overlap. And the fullback that is on join the attack, overlap is going to be the winger on that side is going to have to get into the box for cross. And that's going to be a bit interesting, and the reason why we do that is when we don't have get into the box for cross on this guy, you're going to notice that when we go into the attack, once this fullback joins the attack, these guys are going to be too close to each other too many times. And we don't want that, primarily because that's going to be a waste of a passing line right there, or passing lane, sorry. So forcing this winger, forcing this winger to join the striker in the box is going to give this guy a lot more space to do its own thing. So obviously for this fullback right here, you're going to need a fullback that has good dribbling stats, good passing stats, and good pace. That pace is going to be essential for when it's time to track back. So that's going to be crucial. And then your two midfielders right here, one of them is going to be your CDM, is going to be on cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, cover center. And then the other one's going to be on balanced defense, balanced attack, cover wing. That's a bit confusing. However, the reason why we do this is that this guy right here, he's going to slide in almost in like a right back position on that defensive transition, from offense to defense. So when that fullback's, because obviously with this fullback right here, he's not going to always be in that touchline corner straight up in the attack. So this guy right here, not only is he going to help as a number 8 traditionally, however, if it comes down to it, he's going to be available to defend that space right back in that right wing position or that right flank to begin with. And since, as I said earlier, you have 6 players get into the box for the attack, he's still going to be relevant in the attack to begin with. That's why we have the cover wing right here, because when it's time to, when you get counterattacked with cover wing, if they start pressing this wing that's going to be wide open due to the fact that the fullback might be out of position and he's still running back, this guy, since he's not going to be as high as your wingers traditionally, he's going to drop back and slot a little bit to the right. He's not going to ultimately take that right wing position or that right back position. However, he's just going to prevent any passing lanes from occurring. So let's say someone immediately, tries to abuse that, try to get a through ball in through that open right. I can't even talk right area. He's going to stop that because he's going to be marking any player that tries to make a run in that open position. So that's a bit confusing, but that's only the defensive output of this position, because other than that, when you're in attack, he's just going to play like a normal number 8. That's also why we have balanced balanced defense, because with cut passing lanes, he's going to be too focused on defending a counterattack. He's just going to join the middle, and we don't really want that. We want him to also be like wary of that wide position that's going to be wide open at times. But yeah, other than that, in the attack, this is just going to play like the number 8 that the previous 4-2-3-1s would. It's going to be a classic, join the attack, box-to-box midfielder. And then obviously your other midfielder right here, you're going to want a playmaking midfielder, someone like Bruno Fernandes obviously is going to be perfect for that. Player with very high defending, physical, things like that. A player that you can trust to win the ball when it's time to win the ball. Now obviously your 2 center backs right here, completely default. And then like I said earlier, your left back, stay back while attacking, overlap. As I covered earlier, yes, this is a very asymmetrical formation, which is not something I typically do for 4-2-3-1s. Normally I try to make these 4-2-3-1s absolutely symmetrical. However, with the recent nerfs regarding certain things that I can't even like name, honestly, these EA love like randomly nerfing things. This formation, despite its low width in the tactics screen, is going to be really, really strong in the width positions, primarily because of that fullback that not only joins the attack, but because he's in the attack to begin with, he's going to stretch out the other team's width. That's why we only have one winger on get into the box for cross, because now since that fullback is joining the attack, the other team's defensive line is going to have to accommodate that, and obviously they're either going to have to mark the player, and when I say mark the player, they're going to have to shift that wide defense or the defense's width a little bit towards that side. Even if it's barely noticeable, they're going to have to shift it a little bit towards that side, which is going to allow the other winger on the left side, or the other side to begin with, to accommodate that. Now, even though that winger is not on get into the box for a cross, it's still a cam, and the important thing with the cam is the fact that they run into space they are given. So now that that winger is going to now join, and since you now have a fullback in the attack, you can send like a far post cross or to switch the ball to begin with, because now you're causing an issue for the other team's defense, because their defensive line is going a little bit more unbalanced to try and compensate that extra fullback in attack. Additionally, that center mid that has the instructions to worry about the width is going to be so crucial. I would highly recommend a player like Sawa with Relentless Plus, or just any player with Relentless to begin with, to be in that position, primarily because with Relentless, you'll be able to have them run into that position to be defensive, especially when you use that AI pressing setting, or that AI press button, I forgot what it was, RB I believe, that they pick up always this perfect position, so that if a player tries to make a run in the counterattack through your wide open flank, that midfielder will position themselves perfectly to block that passing lane, and they'll track that winger all the way down to the 50, because once they get past the 50, they're going to be offsides. But yeah, so far I've done really well with this 4-2-3-1. I'm probably going to play this upcoming weekend league. We'll see what happens, because I want to get to Elite Division first with this 4-2-3-1. And also, if you guys want me to try any other formations, drop it down in the comments below. I'll be willing to try anything as long as I can make a meta formation out of it. But other than that, if you found that this formation is going to be pretty helpful for you, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. Leave any comments if you have any questions, because I'll answer them as soon as I can. But other than that, that's all.